Hello, guys. Big Apple Chorus, Princeton Garden Statesman. It's Tuesday evening here, just after 10 p.m. And just want to touch base with you, get a couple of days to chill out after our show this past weekend. I want to thank first Gary Ford is our show chairman. In addition to Gary, Bill Lundy, who did the yeoman's work, and everyone who had participated in the administration of running the show. And I know Diane Hunter and I think some other wives were out there in the lobby, and really appreciate their efforts in our show. If you haven't had the opportunity, please watch the YouTube video that Tom Beffy put up with the recording, video recording of our show. I had the opportunity today to watch a couple bits of it, and I'll tell you what, overall, there were some really good moments in the show. Obviously, there's some moments in there that we'd like to have back. Let me just tell you one thing, and I strongly advise everyone to think this way, which I normally don't say it quite that way about thinking this way, but I am in this particular instance. If you look at a couple of performances of the show, Lullaby being one, and also Whole World in His Hands, both of the endings of those songs were, well, let's just say not that great. In fact, you can say that Whole World in His Hands from the key change onto the tag were just horrible, and it was. So there's no other way to say it. It was just horrifically bad. The first part of it I thought went pretty well. I mean, I was keeping in mind in my head as you were singing it, it's going pretty well. A little lead light on some of the pickups, but I mean, baritones did a nice job on their little solo, and tenors did a nice job, and basses did a good job, and leads overall sang well. Got to the key change, and the wheels came off. Now, one of the members had said to me that when I ran over, because I thought Billy Grisheiber was going to fall, that was a little distracting. That may have thrown a wrench into it, you know. If that was a part of the reason, okay, I can get that. I mean, but I do think that some of you, just aren't sharp on the music. Now, I'll say something here that's going to be kind of blunt and to the point. I think you're used to it now, but it's going to be a little different. From time to time, I hear people point the finger at other guys saying, "Now this guy doesn't know it. This guy doesn't know it." And sometimes I have Big Apple guys will say that the Princeton guys need some help on the music, and they're right, and they're absolutely right. But let me say something about this little phenomenon. I watched the whole show up close and personal from my directing point of view, and I watched many members from both the Big Apple and from the Garden Statesman that had no idea what was going on at times, sing the wrong parts. And I mean people in all sections, okay, in many songs that didn't know what they were doing, clearly got lost on songs that actually came out all right in the very end, but they were not up to speed on the music. In my opinion, fellas, we will never get better as a singing ensemble unless you're prepared on music. And I don't want anyone to feed me any BS saying, we ran through all our music a lot. Okay, and if you weren't there when we ran through the music, if you didn't come to that rehearsal on a Tuesday in Princeton, or you didn't come to that Monday rehearsal in New York when we ran over it, then that's not my fault. And that's not the other members in the chorus that know their music fault. That's all on you. And some of you come unprepared. Some of you get lost. You have that. First of all, the first thing is your eyes go like numb, and you clearly then check out, and then you don't know what's going on. So in the spots that we are unprepared on, that's on you. And there's not much I can do to help you learn your music when you have learning tracks and songs and we review them. If you don't make rehearsal, if you don't come, that's not my fault. So the good stuff that was on the show, and there was a lot of good stuff on the show, I was happy about. I watched, that was good. Even A Whole World in His Hands up until the spot where we had the key change. I will not give in to say that just because I was helping somebody I thought was going to fall, that threw you off, that you didn't know your part. Basses were horrific on it. Some people get lost and not prepared, or they don't work hard enough on the music. Okay, so my job is to tell you that. My job is to help you fix it. My job is to motivate you to be better. And I have many different ways that can happen. But I do want to say that overall, I thought that the chorus did a nice job. I thought that it would be nicer if we have more people in the audience, but I also have a realistic view of the society. I, as well as Joe and John, who've traveled around the society, know the realities of what goes on today in the world of choruses and shows, because attendance is down in chapters, attendance is down in show attendance from everybody. The top quartets don't get the 30 weekends a year anymore because courses can't afford them because they don't have that many guys in the course to sell tickets. So that's a lesson for everybody to learn. Our board, about where we do our shows, I think the board did a great job. The cost factor was great being in New York City. The hall being mammoth, knowing that we're not going to get a big crowd, doesn't help morale much, but that's not their fault. So I'm going to be addressing both the boards in both courses, letting them know some thoughts I have and how we can move forward in a positive way. This week we're off, obviously. Next week we're meeting in Princeton on Tuesday. Right back on the Godfather music and working on that, and I'll give you feedback when we were at rehearsal. So thank you for a good weekend. I did enjoy it. I'm glad that I recovered enough on my flight because I was feeling very ill on the flight back home from California. I had some food poisoning, it turns out, and my stomach was revolting. But doing better now. So have a great night. And if you have any feedback on this message I'm giving you, you can email me. My email that I will get email at is bihdir@aol.com. I no longer have the BIC director at Yahoo because I hate Yahoo. And it was giving me too many spam messages, and a lot of messages I was supposed to getting weren't going there. So send messages to bihdir@aol.com, and I'll be glad to read them. Hope you have a great week. I'm heading to Brothers tomorrow night, and then I go to see the Vocal Majority on Thursday. Have a great night, and we'll talk soon. Thanks.